Welcome to the Rise and Thrive Breakfast Show. I'm your host. My name is Precious Mzea. Sakaleji are not just another channel, Camnet TV. Yes, of course, it's been a very interesting week. I would say so many things fully packed for you. And just remember that you can be part of the show. You can call in or you can get to our Facebook platform and comment on the topic of discussion on that particular day or on this particular day to be specific. Now, as you all know, before we get into what we have for you on the breakfast show, we'll get into the exercise, and then after that we'll just talk about what you need to eat for breakfast, or what time you eat your breakfast, or how you need to start your day, or why you need to exercise. But also remember that you can come through with any concerns that you have. We all know that last month the national budget for 2022 was actually presented in Parliament by the Minister of Finance, Mr. Msokotwane, and there has been talks, there's still talks that are going on from stakeholders, from key holders, from citizens, and from different political parties. And also there has been some petitions that have been filed in court concerning the appointment of the finance minister, Mr. Stombeko Msokotwane, and also if he had the powers to actually do his work as Minister of Finance, considering the fact that there was a petition that was filed in that it's supposed to be after 90 days of the president's appointment. So there has been so many talks on the other side, and also not forgetting we're waiting to hear who is going to be the new Patriotic Front Party president, and also see which members have gotten certain positions, because they will soon be having a convention. So away from that, there also has been some other stories which I will be updating you later on, and not forgetting I have two guests that will be coming through on set today just to share more. We have got the little Miss Intellectual Zamba on the other side, and also a young entrepreneur who'll just be sharing with us how hard it is to actually run a business amid the COVID-19 pandemic and looking at the current economic situation. So away from that, we will get into that on the other side, not forgetting load shedding. Like, there are groups, literally groups. I will be sharing what areas and also what time the power cuts and what time it comes back. They're literally groups. There's group A, well, there's group 1 and group 2, okay, and also there's times like from 6 to 14, and then 16 to 22. I will be sharing the areas in case you haven't actually gotten the notice from our electric utility company, okay, which is ZESCO. So we'll be getting into that. How are you handling the load shedding situation? Where so other people are actually lucky, because it's some parts of certain areas, especially Ibex Hill. Ibex Hill is quite huge, so there are some areas where power doesn't literally go, and some areas where it is part of the groups that power cuts from like 6 to 14. So I will just give you an update on that on the other side, in case you missed out on the times and which group you are in. So now, before we get into the gist of the show today, let's quickly just slide into the DMs of the Morning Groove, and then on the other side we will continue with the conversation. Good morning.
Good morning and welcome to Morning Buzz, and this is Isaac Matsa. I hope you had a great night, and let's do the workout together. So today it's going to be very basic, and if you've noticed, there have been some 25 push-ups going around social media. Some people accepting the challenge. We're going to do 25 push-ups as well, but in our own special way. Let's do a warm-up now. Let's go. We're going to do a warm-up, and then later on we're going to do the push-ups. So let's do a warm-up quickly. A warm-up face. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hope you had a great night. Wake up your kids. Let's do it together. Let's do a warm-up, marching. Then we're going to do push-ups. Let's go. Going. And back to matching. Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. 25 push-ups you're gonna do today. Tell your hubby it's doable. Tell your wife it's doable. Let's go. Easy jumping. Just like that. Stay at it. All right. Okay, I guess your body should be warm by now. Your breathing rate has to change if you did the right way. 25 push-ups. I'm gonna break it down in 5 fives, okay? So let's go. The first push-ups, very easy. You will kneel down, cross your legs, and go down. 5 of them, very easy. Go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's the first set. We've got 20 more to go. Let's go. Second push-up. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 15 more to go. That's 10. We're doing a 25 push-up challenge. I'm gonna change now. 5 more. 5. Go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's 20. If you noticed, I did double. 5 more to go. Last 5. Then we're done with the push-up. Okay. Here you go. 5 only. Go down with the tap. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, that's the challenge you had today. 25 push-ups, and let's start winding now. March, march, march. Okay, that's it for today. I hope you enjoy the push-ups. This is Isaac Matsa signing out. I'm gonna see you next time. Thank you.
Well, there you have it. Hope you have managed to stretch 1 or 2 muscles and also just breathe. I feel like when you're exercising, it's one sort of detoxing. Okay, just get that unnecessary fluids out of your body. And for those, one thing that you didn't know, if you haven't been on a certain routine when it comes to exercise, when you start, there's just certain things that happen in your body that will, as a process of detoxing. I remember this, the first time I actually started like actual workout, I had horrible vomiting because I was told my body was detoxing from certain things. So don't be scared to start. It's one of those things. I know someone who actually started, and then after that process they felt like it was harmful to their body, but there are certain things, bodies respond differently. Okay, others get to have a running stomach, others get to have horrible fatigue. You get to have fatigue after you start exercising, but others it's just intense. So if you don't have to wait for that one particular day, which is a Saturday, to work out, you can just have a certain routine, like during the week, maybe do it 3 times. It may be in the morning, depending on what sort of a person you are. It can be in the morning before work, or you can do it after work. Those actually even have an opportunity to go to the gym during lunchtime. So if you're able to just do one of these healthy routines, just exercise to get the body moving smoothly and being healthy, you might as well just put that on your to-do list. Now, like I mentioned, we will be talking about different things, and our topic of discussion for today is concerning the load shedding schedule. How is the load shedding schedule in your area? What time does power go? What time does power come? And what you need to know that power is supposed to go and come in one day. It's not supposed to go like the whole day. So if you're having a situation where you haven't had power in your area for a certain period of time, which is longer than 24 hours, and you actually need to communicate with the ZESCO people and just get to understand why that is happening. So how is the load shedding schedule in your area? Hit us on Facebook, or you can come through 0968 675273, 0968 675273, or get to our Facebook page and just comment, and let's get interactive. So let me just take a quick short break, and then I will join you on the other side.
Camnet TV is here to entertain, educate, and inform you. Catch Rise and Thrive at 0730 hours every Saturday. Fresh and new praise and worship comes Monday to Friday at 8 hours. Kids need to be glued to the TV every weekday at 09 hours for their favorite cartoons. Off the pitch with the boys as they talk about sport on Saturdays at 0930 hours.
Remember, we are also here to entertain you with our different varieties of movies every weekday at 10 hours. Join Pastor Victoria and Moses Chuluba with Healing Word Ministries International Church live sermon every Sunday at 10 hours.
Katamanda brings to you another journey of gospel ministers on Saturdays at 10:30 hours. The verdict comes to your screens at 17:45 hours. Join the Revival Harvest Church every Sunday at 18:30 hours.
Every Monday to Saturday, join us on the news desk at 12 hours as we bring to you the midday news, and at 19:30 hours Central African time every day for the main bulletin.
The ministry with Pastor Moses Chilua comes every Friday at 20:45 hours. On Mondays, it's your favorite national matters at 20:45 hours.
Wednesday and Thursday, Pastor Victoria and Moses Chuluba are on Partnership of Greatness with different spiritual teachings at 20:45 hours.
And Frank on Camnet comes to your screen every Tuesday at 20:45 hours.
Camnet TV, not just another channel.
Africa is rising to a new dawn of integrity and accountability. Are you tired of being swindled or buying fake or illegal properties? Would you like to sell or buy genuine property? Would you like to list your property on both local and international market? Don't waste your time. Call the professionals, the SGK Properties, on +260 762 166 018. SGK Properties. Your business assurance is our priority.
How is the load shading schedule in your area? 0968675273. Now, quickly getting into current affairs and what has been happening in the course of the week. One of them that caught my attention is actually UNZA students protesting because their lecturers had downed twos on Tuesday. Considering the fact that examinations are supposed to start on the 15th of November 2021, which is this coming Monday. Now, it was resolved, the acting Minister of Higher Education had actually mentioned that all the lecturers actually go back to work with immediate effect and that their issues will be sorted out. And there was also a concern that was raised about students that have arrears with the school. So they were told, allow them to write exams and then you can withhold their results until arrears are cleared. So it was quite intense, you know, when it comes to protest. When UNZA does the protest, it's actually
15th November 2021. The students add that the lecture theatres and library have been locked up, meaning they have nowhere to study from. They are also protesting against the scheduled maintenance by the power utility company ZESCO scheduled for 12th to 14th November 2021 in some parts of Lusaka, saying it will further inconvenience their studies.
The second thing is that all lecture theatres from the School of Education and Health schools have been closed. Why? Because the lecturers are on go slow. They are protesting because of non-payment of salaries and their gratuities. So all we are appealing to is that the government should come on board, pay our lecturers so that learning can proceed as it is supposed to be.
Yesterday we saw a memo circulating on social media that actually there will be power cuts in certain places within Lusaka, and Unza is one of those places, and there will be this power cut from Friday up to Sunday. Now imagine that on Monday we are starting exams. Where are we going to study from? And the other issue that you need to know is that the Unza hostels, all the Unza hostels have many issues. We have poor sanitation. So imagine if there will be no water. Where are the students going to wash their clothes from? Where are they going, students going to get to fetch water from? So these are some of the issues as to why we are protesting as of today.
We want each and every student to have a fair try at writing the examinations, not because of money, but because of other issues. Let them write the exams if at all they're willing and they've studied for it. We also have issues where they're locking the library and they haven't paid lecturers on time. We want our lecturers to be paid on time and the exam to be flexible. We want to pass and not be labeled for failure.
However, Area Member of Parliament Mr. Mike Mposha has reassured the students, saying he will engage the Ministry of Education. Minister of Education Mr. Douglas Yakalima is away in France on ministerial duty.
I will convey the message to the Minister of Education and also the Minister of Energy, because the issues that have been brought out the pending blackout, because how will the students study if they are going to be in the blackout? So I want to discuss this with the Minister of Education, Energy, but also the Minister of Education. I'm hoping that if both of them are around, we should be able to convene a meeting with the union this evening and try to see how we can iron out these issues. But obviously, we want the situation to return to normal so that the students can go back to their studies and possibly sit for their exams. We don't want the exams to be disturbed.
The aggrieved Unza students also took the opportunity to show the Area Member of Parliament, who is also Minister of Water Development and Sanitation, the deplorable state of sanitation at the institution as the place is filled with sewer spillages. He has since promised to ensure that sanitation is restored at the institution. While the students have agreed that taking to the streets is not the best alternative, they allege that university management does not address them when they seek audience and have since demanded for their removal. Zipporah Mshala, Camnet News, Lusaka. The atmosphere has been tense at the country's highest learning institution in the recent days, as both lecturers and students have expressed displeasure with happenings at the institution. Lecturers downed tools on Monday this week, demanding payment of their emoluments, which saw the library and lecture theatres at the University of Zambia being locked up. This prompted a protest from students who took to the streets, saying they are expected to begin writing examinations on Monday, 15th November 2021. Among other things, the students were also protesting scheduled maintenance by the power utility company ZESCO from 12th to 14th November 2021 in some parts of Lusaka, while they are expected to start writing exams. Acting Minister of Education Mr. Elvis Nkandu and Munali Member of Parliament Mr. Mike Mposha held an urgent meeting Wednesday morning with Unza management and lecturer unions at the university. Mr. Nkandu has directed the lecturers to resume work, saying they will be paid. He added that the ministry has also engaged ZESCO, who said the university will not be affected by the maintenance, as students are expected to start writing exams.
So to this effect, we've directed the management to pay the workers so that that go slow is done away with. And I'm happy that we've agreed from this room, no employee will be on go slow. And obviously the union will be able to attest to that arrangement. I'm happy that from now on, our students will be given what they're supposed to be given, that they should allow students to write their exams. But the management will withhold their results so that they come and pay the remaining balance. And also, we need to come up with an MOU where we need to sign before anyone writes, that I can only collect these results after payment of the remaining balance.
UNZA Vice Chancellor Professor Luke Mumba says UNZA management will align itself to the policies of the new administration.
The university operates under the government and the government of the day, which gives us policies. So if the policies have changed, we are obliged to do likewise. So indeed, again, with the case of the students, we have resolved that matter. The students will be communicated to. In fact, some have already been communicated to at Regio Campus, that a resolution has been made that they write exams, we will withhold results. That is what has been resolved. So
meanwhile, leaders of the University of Zambia Lecturers and Researchers Union Unzalaru, the University of Zambia Professional Staff Union Unzaprosu, and the University of Zambia Allied Workers Union Unzawu have spoken out.
Now that we have resolved this matter, we will go back and revert to our normal duties of having the university be a premier university, a center of excellence, and also of a highly motivated workforce.
Let's mutually respect each other. We respect you as our managers entrusted to run the institutions. You also respect us as the workers' representatives entrusted to look after the welfare and the interests of the workers. When there's a problem, it doesn't help anybody to run away from the workplace. You know, in fact, that's when a leader should be, because you can't be a general of an army only to be saluted in the mess. When there's a war, you run away.
Meetings as these, good as they may be in the end, as it has happened today, must be the very last resolution, the very last resort. If anything, they must not be there. What ought to be there is social dialogue among ourselves.
Meanwhile, Munali Member of Parliament Mr. Mike Mposha has called on students to desist from protests going forward as UNZA management has consented to dialogue. Zipporah Mshala, Camnet News, Lusaka.
Well, you're still watching the Rise and Thrive breakfast show. That was what was happening at UNZA on Tuesday, and we are hoping that everything has gotten back to normal and the students are getting ready to write their exams on Monday. And all the best to everyone that's in the examination classes. Also, let me take this opportunity to congratulate everybody that graduated this yesterday, and also in the course of this week there has been a lot of graduations. And also getting back to a topic of discussion today, what is the load shedding schedule in your area? Call us on 0968675273, and in case you missed out on the load shading schedule, there are actually two groups. There's group 1 and group 2. So now group 1 has got the load shading starting from 6 and ending at 14. Now the areas that have that schedule is actually Roma, Kalundu, Handsworth, Obama, Kamanga, parts of Chamba Valley, Kaunda Square, Stage 1 and 2, parts of Ibex Hill, and also Kalingalinga. So that's the schedule for that's the first group, group A, or group 1. The schedule starts from 6 to 14. That's Roma, Kalundu, Handsworth, Obama, Kamanga, parts of Chamba Valley, Kaunda Square, Stage 1 and 2, parts of Ibex Hill and Kalingalinga. And then the load shedding schedule for the group 2 is from 14 to 22 hours. That's Salama Park, Mtendere East, parts of Charleston, parts of PHI, Kabanana, Kabangwe, Katua, along Great North Road, Mandevu, Chunga, Lilanda, and parts of Matero. That's the group 2. So load shedding starts from 14 to 22 hours in the group 2, and then group 1 starts from 06 to 14 hours. So for those of you that might be wondering why you are in certain areas and you're not experiencing load shedding, is because they have chosen parts of certain areas, like parts of PHI and also part of Ibex Hill, and which other side? Yes, and also parts of material. So it's not necessarily that when they say material, in certain areas it's not the whole area. Other areas it's just parts of certain areas. So hope you know what your load shedding schedule is. But in case you don't and you have a different one apart from the official announcement that was made by ZESCO, depending on these groups, you can actually come through and tell us on 0968675273 and what is the longest you actually get to experience the load shedding, or get to our Facebook platform, which is Camnet TV, like the page, and then let us know how it's going in your area and how that has affected you. Now, moving on to our next story that actually made headlines in the course of the week, which is our former Minister of Health, Dr. Chitalu Chilufya, who actually gave the Anti-Corruption Commission a 3-day ultimatum to actually pay him 50 million United States dollars as damage for malicious prosecution. Now, we all know there were some investigations that were going on just when he was no longer Minister of Health. It was under investigations, but then he said in his statement, he states that failure to pay him by the commission will compel him to use available platforms to seek redress. So now we'll see how that story will unfold, but as for now, let's take a look at this.
Almost a year after he was acquitted from the corruption charges that were leveled against him before the Lusaka's Magistrate Court, former Minister of Health Chitalu Chilufya has been prompted to take action against the Anti-Corruption Commission, demanding that he be paid 50 million United States dollars as compensation for unlawful prosecution. Dr. Chilufya, who is Mansa Central Member of Parliament, has written a demand letter to the Commission, giving them a 3-day ultimatum to pay him the said amount and give a public apology, failure to which he will take legal action against them. He says the money demanded is for the damages caused to his reputation, which he built over the years. According to a demand letter written by his lawyer, Tutonguluwe, he states that the SCC allegedly opted to prosecute him despite knowing that he was innocent. The lawmaker says this can be confirmed by the audio recording allegedly involving SCC officers, which he has handed over to his lawyers. He adds that prior to his arrest, the SCC issued a number of media statements suggesting that he had committed an offense, when in fact not. He explains that the reflection on the malicious statement leveled against him shows that both the Commission and the state, being diligent in their dealings, they would not have caused any damages to him or even attempt to maliciously prosecute him as they did.
I wish to inform you that the Anti-Corruption Commission has today arrested Minister of Health, Dr. Chitalu Chilufya. And Dr. Chitalu Chilufya, 47, of House number 4, Robert Kennedy Close, off Brentwood Avenue in Lusaka, was arrested today, and he has been charged with 4 counts of being in possession of property reasonably suspected to be proceeds of crime. So this is contrary to Section 71, subsection 1 of the Forfeiture of Proceeds of Crime Act.
In 2020, the Magistrate Court acquitted the former minister after ruling that the prosecution brought sufficient evidence against him. On July 16, Dr. Chilufya had appeared before a Lusaka magistrate and denied 4 counts of corruption. The prosecution had alleged that the former health minister on 4 separate occasions used money believed to be proceeds of crime to acquire property, shares in tourism firm and a passenger boat from the United Arab Emirates in the period between December 2016 and January 2018. For now, we wait and see how this issue unfolds. Miriam Kemba, reporting for Camnet TV News.
Well, there you have it. Now, moving on to our next item. This one is actually very sensitive because there has been illegal institutions. During investigations, some illegal nursing and midwifery institutions have actually been noted. One of them is Prista College of Science and Technology of Lusaka. I am not surprised, honestly speaking, because there are just so many nursing schools. Okay, I appreciate that people have actually taken time to get into nursing, and people have actually gotten this opportunity to actually start nursing institutions. But I feel you just need to follow the procedure, especially when it comes to certain things like this. Okay, these are the people that you will be putting in front to actually save lives. These are the people that you're putting in charge to look after people's health. So if you're not going to do illegal things and things that are not right, that's literally endangering the life of an actual, like, citizens, like human beings. It's not like you're dealing with dolls or maybe mannequins. These are real human beings that you need to deal with in case they get to graduate. So I just feel that there's so many nursing schools that have actually mushroomed, especially in Lusaka. You will see it's just a house, the next minute you just blink, it's a nursing school. I don't know why that has been happening, but I'm just praying that during this investigations, such issues can actually be sorted out. And also be on the lookout. Okay, you know that you can do citizen arrest, right? If you see that somebody is doing something wrong and you have the proof, or you have something that can prove that what they're doing is against the law, you can actually report them. You can do a citizen arrest. And I know there are actually quite a number of nursing schools that don't even have the certificate, or maybe haven't been given the right to actually go through and start an institution, because when it comes to such things, there are procedures. Okay, Zamra needs to come in. There are just certain things that they need to check: the area, how safe it is, the equipments that they're using, what they're teaching, all sorts of things. There's so many things that need to be put in place before you actually start even anything, even in a school. So I just feel like it's a great thing that investigations are still ongoing, and that they will be rooted out if there are any illegal nursing institutions. So let's take a look at this clip.
So following a tip-off from concerned members of the public, the Council conducted investigations at Prista College of Health Sciences and Technology in Lusaka on 8th November 2021. This was based on allegations that the college was offering a nursing program in the absence of approval from the council. So we conducted investigations, and these revealed that contrary to Section 35 of the Nurses and Midwives Act number 10 of 2019, the training institution was illegally training 25 nurses who were scheduled to undergo clinical placement in Petauke, commencing 10th November 2021. The said college is not registered with the council, and the students are further not indexed or recognized by the council. The matter has since been reported to the relevant law enforcement agency, and investigations relating to other suspected illegal nursing or midwifery institutions are still ongoing. The implication is that as a statutory body, our mandate is to ensure that the public is protected from unqualified nurses and midwives. So if these nurses and midwives students are not properly registered and recognized by us, it means they'll conduct training on patients, because these students, they train on real life patients. So if they're not recognized by us, they're not indexed, we know for a fact that they're not receiving the adequate training that they're supposed to receive. So that poses a danger to the public.
Now, Solicitor General Marshall Muchinde had asked the Constitutional Court to throw out a petition in which a governance activist, Isaac Mwanza, is seeking interpretation on whether a person can legally be appointed to an office of minister and perform ministerial functions after dissolution of Parliament and before its commencement. Now, in the supplementary arguments filed before court, Solicitor General Muchinde argues that the urgent appointment of the Minister of Finance rests on the constituency requirement for the government to prepare and lay before the National Assembly to the estimates of revenue and the budget of the country for the next financial year within 90 days of swearing in of the president under Article 2023 of the constituency. Now, Mr. Mwanza has petitioned the state over the performance of ministerial functions by Finance Minister Stumbeko Msokotwane before the commencement of the National Assembly.
Following his appointment as Finance Minister on the 27th of August 2021, Dr. Stumbeko Msokotwane immediately commenced performing his ministerial functions before the commencement of Parliament. This has, however, brought debate, with now governance activist Isaac Mwanza petitioning the state before the country's highest court that it is illegal for a nominated member of Parliament to perform ministerial duties before Parliament ratification. The governance activist is now seeking the Constitutional Court to interpret the Constitution in relation to the subject matter, citing Article 81. Mr. Mwanza further seeks an interpretation in line with Article 173 of the Constitution on whether the President or any other appointing authority can terminate the employment of a public officer without cause and due process. He feels it is important that the court clarifies the law.
So we shall meet them again on the 18th of November to see that this matter is attended to. However, there are a lot of issues that are going on. You know, this matter borders on the disappointment of public service workers, and this has continued. And it was important that the court disposes this matter as quickly as possible, so that we can have clarity in the law. If it goes in favor of the state, then that would be good. But if it doesn't go in favor of the state, I think that the nation will be guided. This is not a matter of winning or losing. It is a matter of clarifying what the law is, so that the nation can be guided under the rule of law. It is not about Mr. Againde Ichilema. It is not about Mr. Msokotwane. It is about the law. What does the law say? And it's only the Constitutional Court that has the capacity to clarify the law.
However, responding to his argument, Solicitor General Masho Mchende has argued that a person appointed by the President is able to perform duties as a minister even before such a person takes parliamentary oath, citing Article 116 of the Constitution. The state has further argued that the urgent appointment of the Finance Minister rests on the constitutional requirement for the government to prepare and lay before the National Assembly the estimate of revenue and the budget of the country for the next financial year within 90 days of swearing in of the President under Article 202(3) of the Constitution. In their supplementary skeleton argument that they filed on Wednesday after the court granted them leave, they submit that the court should dismiss the said petition with cost, as it moves the court wrongly on many issues. Miriam Kaimba, reporting for Camnet TV News.
So those are the stories that actually made headlines in the course of the week that we thought you might want to know about. Now, you remember that you're still watching the Rise and Thrive Breakfast Show, and you can be part of the show. Just call in on 0968675273. What is the load shedding schedule in your area? Now, we'll get into our first conversation of the day, our first interview. But for now, let's take a quick short break. We will be back on the other side.
Africa is rising to a new dawn of integrity and accountability. Are you tired of being swindled or buying fake or illegal properties? Would you like to sell or buy genuine property? Would you like to list your property on both local and international market? Don't waste your time. Call the professionals, the SGK Properties, on +260 762 166 018. SGK Properties. Your business assurance is our priority.
Camnet TV is here to entertain, educate, and inform you. Catch Rise and Thrive at 07:30 hours every Saturday. Fresh and new praise and worship comes Monday to Friday at 8 hours. Kids need to be glued to the TV every weekday at 09 hours for their favorite cartoons. Off the pitch with the boys as they talk about sport on Saturdays at 09:30 hours.
Remember, we are also here to entertain you with our different varieties of movies every weekday at 10 hours. Join Pastor Victoria and Moses Chuluwa with Healing Word Ministries International Church live sermon every Sunday at 10 hours.
Katamanda brings to you another journey of gospel ministers on Saturdays at 10:30 hours. The verdict comes to your screens at 17:45 hours. Join the Revival Harvest Church every Sunday at 18:30 hours.
Every Monday to Saturday, join us on the news desk at 12 hours as we bring to you the midday news, and at 19:30 hours Central African time every day for the main bulletin.
The ministry with Pastor Moses Chuluwa comes every Friday at 20:45 hours. On Mondays, it's your favorite national matters at 20:45 hours.
Wednesday and Thursday, Pastor Victoria and Moses Chuluwa are on Partnership of Greatness with different spiritual teachings at 20:45 hours.
And Frank on Camnet comes to your screen every Tuesday at 20:45 hours.
Camnet TV, not just another channel.
Rise and Thrive Breakfast Show is what you are watching. What is the load shedding schedule in your area? 0968675273. Now, getting into our first conversation of the day, I'm going to be having a conversation with Remy Kangwa, who is actually a teacher by profession and but an entrepreneur. Okay, he's got a business running, quite a number, not to mention all of them. So we'll be talking about how he has been handling that, considering the fact that you have papers that would give you a white-collar job, but you are an entrepreneur.
Wow.
Good morning, welcome to the show.
Good morning, thank you.
So let's get into how are you managing with your business, considering the current economy situation?
Yeah, you know, business change with time. So, so is a human being. If you're doing business and something comes up, maybe there are certain changes in the economy and any other thing, then you definitely need to adjust and yeah, move with time.
Okay, now being a young person and looking at the new Dawn government, now that we have the new administration, you as a young person, and also we're looking at 30,000 teachers that will be recruited next year. Are you hoping to be part of those? Or maybe you have been to school and you have your papers as a teacher and you have just forgotten about it and prefer to do business instead. What's the situation?
Not really. I haven't forgotten about my papers. I have them. I think I went to school because I needed the papers. So I haven't forgotten about them. But of course, I'm sure it's everyone's hope that will be on the list of how many people you mentioned?
30,000 teachers.
30,000 teachers. But of course, my being not in school right now teaching is not because of the previous administration or government. I think it was a personal choice because really I've never applied for that because I started doing businesses when I left the school. So I don't want to accuse anybody to be reason why I'm not teaching. I think it's a personal decision. But of course, maybe in future we'll consider doing that.
Okay, so now let's get into doing business and entrepreneurship. I asked the question, what are your expectations, either as someone who started teaching or as an entrepreneur, and just to top it off, as a young person?
You know, as a young person, I expect so much, especially, you know, because like any other person, I believe majority of the people believe that when you're doing business, you make money, you become rich. So I expect so much in my business, even though things do not always move the way we expect them. But we keep trying and hoping for, you know, for a breakthrough. But of course, you know, considering the fact that the new government has introduced a ministry that would focus on small entrepreneurs like myself, I'm hoping that one of these days we'll get luck and maybe be one of the beneficiaries of the new administration's initiative in terms of young entrepreneurs. So, yeah, I'm expecting so much. We'll see how that goes.
We'll see how that unfolds, eh?
Yes.
So now let's get into the entrepreneurship side of you. What would you say is a starter pack to have a successful business?
You know, business is anyway. Business is wide. I'll tell you this: there are some people that start business with money, and there are some people that start business with ideas. And the people that start business by mistake. So, and some actually get, you know, become successful in whichever way they start business with. So I think what is important is identifying what you are good at, and then try and see how you can put that into something profitable. I'll give you an example. When you talk about business, we are even talking about maybe even music is business. So if you discover you have a talent to sing, you can convert that into business. You can start, you know, making you money. Sometimes it could be maybe you have interest in something, and you can start with that. But the truth of the matter is that it's not always that you start business with money, but sometimes you start business with maybe an asset. So I think a business is something that you start from anywhere.
So what are some of the major challenges that you have been facing? You know, being a young person and looking at the current situation, we've got so many young entrepreneurs. Okay, others would study and then they can't find a job and they resort into getting into entrepreneurship. And we know we like to have fun. Like we say, you only live once. So there are certain temptations that you get doing business and having extra grants, and then you think, okay, maybe I should use this amount, I'll replace it. Like, why Kongwesha? Knowing for the fact that since you are the owner of that particular business. So what are some of the major challenges during this journey of entrepreneurship?
You know, you just touched something that has made me laugh. We're like, okay, fine. Why Kongwesha?
Why Kongwesha? We do that. I do that sometimes. Like, I'll have extra money and I'll be like, Nala Kongwesha, and then Nala Wekshap, Nala Wekshap.
Okay, no, okay, fine. There are quite a number of challenges anyway, like especially if you're just starting. I think one of the challenges that I faced was my own excitement personally, because you know, when you start business, like I mentioned earlier, you get to expect so much, and if at one point you get to make some money, you feel like it will continue
coming
being
through
that way. Yes, you continue having money all the time. So you know, that excitement affects so many of us. Of course, there are other people that are never excited, depending on where you're coming from. But I think if you're coming from a background where you're not exposed to having money, and you start having money, you become so excited. So actually, that was, I think, one of the challenges that I encountered. And of course, the other thing is acceptance. You know, the society doesn't believe in self-empowerment. Like, we have these parents who told us that in order for you to live a better life, you need to go to school, do A, B, C, D, and all that. So if you take a step of starting business, you expect negativity from people, expect these people to tell you, hey, what you're doing might not work out. You know, like, you start thinking you have made a wrong decision. So yeah, that's another challenge.
Criticism.
Criticism, yes. And of course, the other challenge is, you know, discipline. Business is very hard. If
financial
you're not,
discipline.
Yes, and you know, if at all right now some young people are watching, and I would really love them to know how to discipline themselves. If possible, spend more time learning on how best you can keep yourself, and of course the money as well, because man,
it's rough.
It's rough. If you're not disciplined, it's quite hard. So that is another challenge. And of course, the other challenges are normal in business. It's a situation whereby you expect so much and then things do not work out. You have these things. Maybe you have done. Let's say you have ordered something. I'll give an example because most of the young people that I know really for now, I'm sure even if I ask you to tell me even 2, 3, 4 business people that you know in Zambia were young, you find that they're into maybe fashion or some other stuff, and they're involved in getting product outside the country. Now imagine you have all this order in China and then COVID-19 comes up and you end up losing maybe half if not everything of the money that you're using for business. But of course that is what expected in business. You expect losses and you also expect some profit. So it's also a challenge, but I think what is important is to understand why you're doing the business and know how to rise above those challenges when they come through. Otherwise there are a lot of challenges, but it depends on the person having them on the business that you're doing, because maybe the business that I do and the business that other people do, we have different challenges. But for me, I think those are the challenges that I felt like were hard on my part, but the rest, they're challenges that I expected.
Okay, so how do you, let's get into, you've mentioned these challenges, but how do you fight competition? Because half of the time, if we get into town right now and those shops, you will find like, way back there was monopoly. But at this particular time, you'll find that there are like 4 shops that are selling the same thing.
Same thing.
Yes, so how do you raise above the competition?
You know, every person has something unique about them, and they have something that attracts people to their business. I think what is important in a community or in a situation where there's a lot of competition, especially in this industry business, where you know, like you go to North Mid, you see everyone is doing hair, you go to Kabwata, it's the same thing, and you still have to make money even then. So I think what is important is to know how you do your business. Integrity is not common.
Sure.
I will tell you that. Integrity is not common, so what is, you have to know first of all how you relate with your customers, so that you don't get to lose them. So integrity is important. It's not every person is honest. You can have 70 shops around, but maybe only 5 people. So it all gets down to how you market your business and how you market yourself, because I'm sure every business is, you as the owner, you're a brand of that business. So how you relate with customers, how you offer your services to people determines how many people will be coming to you. So it doesn't matter how many people are selling the same thing. Are selling the same thing. What is important is how you do your business, and you have to focus on yourself. You don't have to look at who is doing the same thing. So I think what is important is to focus on yourself and know how best you can relate with your customers.
Okay, so I know they're young. I'm thinking of doing business. So I know there are actually a lot of young people that are thinking like me at this particular time, where they go like, okay, I've tried this and that and it's not working out. I might as well get into entrepreneurship. What are some of the things that you would like that young person to know before they get to start such a journey? What are some of the major things that you need to consider before getting into entrepreneurship?
I think on that one I would say if there's someone who wants to start business today, the first thing they might need to consider is understanding the business they want to start, because it doesn't really make sense to start something that you can't run. So spend more time starting the business that you want to start, understand its competition, understand its advantages and disadvantages, know how to do it better before you start it. I know many people say, no, what is important is starting. Yeah, starting is important. Now we are talking about something different. There's a situation where you want to start, but you're dilly-dallying, things might not work out. But what I'm talking about is something different. I'm talking about understanding your business
and having a structure.
So now when you have all this knowledge about something, of course you're not going to know everything about the business that you want to start, because certain things, certain experiences, you only get them if you get involved. I have started some businesses that I thought maybe I knew very well. Like I did my homework, but when I started doing those businesses, I found that
the things that you only understood because you
yes, actually what I understood was just on the surface, but it's something that I didn't understand very well. That's when now I started interacting with customers and knowing like that. So I think what is important is understanding your business, and then you can now start it. And of course, you need to decide. Deciding is important. If you decide to do something, even when you meet challenges, you're not going to focus on them. Decide that you're going to do it. Yeah, if you do not decide, it becomes hard, because anything can change your mind. Because there are a lot of challenges, and if your mind is not made up, if you're not decided, then it's hard. So get to know the business and decide to do it.
Okay, now before I let you go, what are your closing remarks
to business people? You know, it's hard, but I would I would say it's important to move with time. You need to study what is happening on the market and go with that. You know, we have a lot of people that want to start business now, but of course the issue of COVID has affected a lot of things. So if you're going to start doing business now, I'd encourage people to be patient with themselves. Very patient, so that you don't become depressed with the experience that you might face. So I would just tell everyone to go out there and do what they feel they're able to do. And yeah, I think that's all, man. Just go out there and do what you think
you can do. All right, thank you so much for coming through.
But of course, I can't just leave without talking about my one of my businesses.
You actually sell perfumes. Do you? You have a brand.
I don't just sell, but I have a brand of.
You have a brand of perfume. Yeah. Before I let you go, let's get into what does it take to have a brand. Do you like sit with people and mix the scents, or maybe you have a certain factory that tells you we've got these scents that haven't been bought yet and we're selling them to you? What is involved into selling perfumes? I want to get into that. What's the process, if you're able to share that?
I'm not going to tell you the process. I was trying to go and start the same business that I'm doing.
Well.
Okay. I have a perfume brand, right?
Yes.
And there are a lot of perfumes that I'm actually selling and making using my brand. So I make some of them, of course, I name them after some of the forces that we have in Zambia. And of course, some of them I make sure that I maintain some of the things that I used to make. Like, I'm not going to tell you the whole information here.
Well.
But there are certain things that I maintain. There are certain names that I maintain of perfumes. I'll give you an example of, I'm sure you have maybe used it before, Gucci Rush, or maybe Gucci Guilty, or anything to do with Gucci. So sometimes I get to maintain such, but actually it's me that produces those perfumes and mixes them from here. So about the brand, it's about you to decide, okay, fine, I'm going to have this brand, I want to have my own brand, because there are a lot of brands out there, but really you want something that has to connect people to the person you are. I'll give you an example of how this issue of brands work. There's a gentleman, I'm not going to mention his name, who was given two bottles of different brands. I don't know what was in those bottles, but what he did was he had to remove one bottle from the table, and he had to put it aside, and that affected the brand.
I think I know it was a football player.
Yes,
I know that it was a football player that did that.
That the brand has so much to do with you and not the actual product. Yes. So if you decide to come up with your own brand, it means you have maybe censored yourself from what I talk about. Therefore, I want to maybe those who believe in you, those who think, if you reach at a point where you feel there are quite a number of people that would be interested in you or buying your own stuff, then go for that, because you have this set of people that trust you. So if you are going to put your brand out there, people will be able to buy based on the trust they have in you. And I wouldn't want to use another person's brand because I don't know the reputation that person has with people, and people change anytime.
So it's about you selling the brand before you sell the product.
That's the thing.
Okay, we don't have enough time, but anyway, I think we'll pin that conversation for one of the business sections.
We'll definitely come back here.
Yeah, of course. I was having a conversation with Remy Kangwa, who is actually a teacher by profession, but has decided to venture into entrepreneurship. So we're just having a discussion on how what you need to know before you actually consider getting into business, and also how you need to market your brand before you actually get to the actual product. Now we will be getting into our second interview of the day just after this.
Africa is rising to a new dawn of integrity and accountability. Are you tired of being swindled or buying fake or illegal properties? Would you like to sell or buy genuine property? Would you like to list your property on both local and international market? Don't waste your time. Call the professionals, the SGK Properties, on +260 762 166 018. SGK Properties. Your business assurance is our priority.
Camnet TV is here to entertain, educate, and inform you. Catch Rise and Thrive at 0730 hours every Saturday. Fresh and new praise and worship comes Monday to Friday at 8 hours. Kids need to be glued to the TV every weekday at 09 hours for their favorite cartoons. Off the pitch with the boys as they talk about sport on Saturdays at 0930 hours.
Remember, we are also here to entertain you with our different varieties of movies every weekday at 10 hours. Join Pastor Victoria and Moses Chuluwa with Healing Word Ministries International Church live sermon every Sunday at 10 hours.
Katamanda brings to you another journey of gospel ministers on Saturdays at 10:30 hours. The verdict comes to your screens at 17:45 hours. Join the Revival Harvest Church every Sunday at 18:30 hours.
Every Monday to Saturday, join us on the news desk at 12 hours as we bring to you the midday news, and at 19:30 hours Central African time every day for the main bulletin.
The ministry with Pastor Moses Chuluwa comes every Friday at 20:45 hours. On Mondays, it's your favorite national matters at 20:45 hours.
Wednesday and Thursday, Pastor Victoria and Moses Chuluwa are on Partnership of Greatness with different spiritual teachings at 20:45 hours.
And Frank on Camnet comes to your screen every Tuesday at 20:45 hours.
Camnet TV, not just another channel.
This is Camnet TV World News. For a prompt response, call +2609 53 995 099 or +2609 62 444 726 or +2609 711 77467. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
Welcome back. What is the load shedding schedule in your area? Now, getting to our Facebook comments. This one is coming from Dorcas Ndashe, and she says, watching from Serenje. Thank you so much. Abraham Billsbury Kakumbi says, on Tuesday, here in Kabulonga, we had some places where power went from 18 hours until 9 hours Wednesday morning. So I'm assuming it went on Tuesday and then came back on Wednesday Wednesday 9 hours. And then Justus Mtonga says, following, Justus, good to hear from you. Chilubi, Patricia Chiliwoi says, from Chilubi almost every day from 07 hours to 15 hours. And then Nicholas Hashambwa says, I am watching from Congo DRC. Thank you so much for coming through. And Veronica Mlenga just gave me a thumbs up. Thumbs up, Veronica. So remember, our topic of discussion for today is what is the load shading schedule in your area. Now, ZESCO had actually, there is a picture or maybe a statement that is circulating that as an official announcement from the power utility company, which is ZESCO, where they had actually mentioned what areas and also what time power will be going. And also remember that other areas, it's not like the whole area, it's just some parts of that particular area, and they're actually in groups. There's group 1 and group 2. So group 1 gets to have power go from like 6 to 14 hours, and also group 2 power goes from 14 to 22 hours. So in case you missed out and you don't know which group your area is in, so now there is group 1, which when power goes from 6 to 14 hours, and the areas are Roma, Kalundu, Handsworth, Obama, Kamanga, parts of Chamba Valley, Kaunda Square, stage 1 and 2, parts of Ibex Hill and Kalingalinga. That's the group 1. Power goes from like 6 to 14 hours. And then the group 2 is from 14 to 22 hours. That is Salama Park, Mtendere East, parts of Charleston, and also parts of PHI, Chunga, Lilanda, and parts of Matero. Now remember that this had started effective yesterday, which was Friday. So it will be on up until from the 12th, 13th, and also 14th of November 2021. So it's a rotational thing, rotational basis. So we are hoping that this comes to an end. And also we all know that there are some areas that literally don't have power because of the rainy season. We know it has been quite heavy when it rains in Lusaka, not forgetting the floods that actually happen in most parts of Lusaka. So there are some lines that have been disturbed, short circuits per se, and also some things that have fallen on pipes or poles, electrical poles that supply electricity in some areas. So that has been an issue. Hence, if you remember last week when we had rains from like Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, we had power issues. I equally experienced that. So if you have noticed that your area doesn't have power for more than 24 hours, it's best that you contact the ZESCO customer care and hope that you will be helped one way or another, considering the fact that half of the businesses in these areas that I've mentioned are barbershop, salons, shops, like actual shops where they get to have fridges to cool off the beverages, and also not forgetting the butcheries. Those are common businesses in these areas. And considering the fact that if you don't get to have power, which means the stuff will be spoiled, okay, which is one of the very sensitive things. So a tip off, if you are one person that has a cooler box, okay, or has a big bucket, you can just get some ice, and then if during that time that you've seen that you don't have the power and that your fridge has melted, we get to have such experiences, just put the relish in one of the dishes or maybe a cooler box and throw in the ice while you wait for power to restore. Okay, so those are one of the tips that you can actually manage the load shedding. Or get charcoal. I know there's some people that would actually wait for power for them to cook again, but you cannot wait, like you cannot not eat just because you don't have power. Get a brazier, get some charcoal, get some candles. I know it's one of those things, but we can adjust. We can adjust to those things. So now we'll be getting to our next interview for the day. My question for today is, what is the load shedding schedule in your area? 0968675273. I'll be back after this.
Hello, I'm Deborah Lukalu, all the way from South Africa. You are watching Camnet channel, not just another channel. God bless you. Stay tuned.
This is Camnet TV World News. For a prompt response, call +2609 53 995 099 or +2609 62 444 726 or +2609 711 77467. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
Welcome back. You're still watching the Rise and Thrive Breakfast Show. We're getting to the dying minutes of the show, but before we go, I'm joined by one of the organizers for Little Miss Intellect Zambia. We didn't have the pageant this year because of coronavirus, and considering the fact that we were dealing, or they were dealing, I'm saying we like I'm part of the organizers, they were dealing with kids, so they decided to move the event to next year. Hi.
Hello.
How are you?
I am fine. Good to be here.
Good to see you.
Yeah.
We were supposed to meet this year, but then Corona happened, and then the kids, and then I'm sure they're just waiting to hear what's next.
Yeah.
So let's get into, there's a project that Little Miss Intellect is actually working on this festive season.
Yes.
Yeah, let's get into that after the introduction.
Okay.
And what you are in for the organization.
Okay, I am Mariana Kufo, co-director of Little Miss Intellect. We created our organization in 2016. It's a little girls organization, girls between the ages of 8 to 13. So we do a pageant, we take the kids on an educational tour. We do like training, weekly training. They go to the UN, we learn about sustainable development goals, which is actually one of the most fundamental reasons why we actually initiated it. Because I feel that SDGs are everyone's problem, and everybody should be doing something to change, especially climate change. So we do the awareness. We had, if you look at our page on Facebook, Little Miss Intellect Zambia, you'll find that we had tree planting days. We had so many events to try and help out with that issue.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, before we get into the current project that you'll be working on during this festive season, when is the next Little Miss Intellect Zambia?
Next year.
Date set
I don't have a definite date. I have girls waiting who enrolled this year, but we don't have a date set yet.
Okay, how many contestants are we talking about? Do you have a finalist, or are you using the same one that you had this year, or maybe you will recruit?
Yes, just carrying on to the next year, but we can still add. We still have room to add more. Yeah, but we have quite a number of them already.
Okay, so now let's get into your current project that you'll be working on this festive season.
Okay, so we are organizing a Christmas party at City of Hope Orphanage. This is an orphanage that is run by Celestine Sisters. We have 28 kids there. And so we're actually appealing to the public or anybody who would be willing to help to come in and help us to gather this donation and make this party a success. Yeah, so I would like to actually thank some of our sponsors, if you allow me.
Yeah, sure.
I am thanking Davis and Shortlift for always supporting us, our artist Benze. I am also thanking Frost Industries for the books and the pencils, and a special thank you also goes to my friend Coletta in New York. Yeah, so we have a lot of people coming on board. We have sent out letters and we hope for the best.
Okay.
I feel that at the end of the day, Zambia is a Christian nation, and we just came together to decide to say, okay, let's do something good for these little kids. And so I hope it would turn out for the best.
Okay, so now are we looking at the actual Christmas day, or maybe we're looking at Christmas Eve, or maybe we're looking at New Year?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, what are the dates that you will be going to the orphanage?
11th December,
okay,
which is a Saturday. Yeah, they break on 15th December. They go for the sisters, they put them in homes so they could get the feel of Christmas at home. I actually wanted it to be on Christmas Day because I thought, okay, this year I just want to celebrate my Christmas at the orphanage, but unfortunately we couldn't do that.
Okay, so if there's anyone out there that wants to make a donation, okay, if they have got books, clothes, and other items that they're not using at this particular time, and they would love to actually donate to the orphanage during that time that you're doing the project, how can they get in touch?
Okay, they are able to check our Facebook page, Little Miss Intellect Zambia, or contact me on 977-165198. That's on 977-165198.
Okay.
The easiest way is to contact our page and someone will be able to attend to them shortly.
Okay, before I let you go, do you have any closing remarks?
Well, I'm just actually appealing to all the youths out there. Me and my friend, my best friend, we came together and created this organization, not because it's profit making, but we just wanted to also create a difference to society as youths. So we put ourselves together and we said, how are we able to contribute to climate change? Because I feel that change for the world doesn't start from our leaders, it also starts from us. So I'm urging all youths to actually be initiative and come together and see how we can actually change this, how we can actually help people to achieve SDGs by 2020, by 2030, sorry. And then I actually focus a lot on climate change. If you read on climate change, it's actually alarming what's going on. So I can't really get into the details, but I think that's enough for now.
All right, Marianne, thank you for coming through.
Okay, thank you for having me.
You're welcome. So there you have it. Unfortunately, I have finally come to the end of the show. Not that I am excited, a little excited though, but not that I'm excited, but I would love to say thank you to everybody that actually came through on Facebook and those that actually took time to actually watch the breakfast show from the beginning up until this particular time. Well, on behalf of Isaac and Elijah Chifita and on behalf of the guests that came through on the show, it's have a beautiful day and bye-bye until next time.